Hey, it's Cody. I am late to July. This is my July decks and books video. Um, I've kind of been in a weird mood lately. But even aside from that, like the videos are not coming quite as common. On my last video, I was talking about how like my kids are home for summer break, and when my husband's home, when he's been home more often than usual lately, it feels weird to make videos. But now I have a friend staying with me for a while, and let me tell you, that is the fucking weirdest. Like I don't think she even knows that I have a YouTube channel, and I kind of don't want her to know because it's like embarrassing. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, sorry, these videos are just like really kind of randomly put up there. Um, okay, so I'll do the book first. Okay, I only have one book right now, guys. And it is okay, this kind of segues into what I've been doing instead. Now, all right, this book this is Your Brain on Music. This is by Daniel J. I think it's Levitin. Now, this book came out I think 2006 when I graduated high school in 2006, okay? So what the hell? Yeah, 2006. So I got this book I don't remember. It was shortly after I graduated high school. I was really doing a lot of music stuff in high school. It kind of fizzled out just because I don't know, like life just happens, man. You know, like sometimes you're just super passionate about something, and then like I don't even know what happened, man. Life just happens. So I'm rereading this book. Lately I've just really been on a music kick. Like I All right, do you ever like have a thing that you're really into? Like I think some people cycle through theirs faster. Mine will go for a couple years. So it was reading for a lot of years, and I feel like the music's coming back around again. So sorry if the books aren't quite as don't pack as much of a punch here. Lately I don't know how long this is going to last, so I'm not about to like force myself to read books if I'm not into it. But if you are interested in like the neurological kind of like what is your brain doing when it's listening to music, it's fucking fascinating. I don't know, I feel like I'm honestly understanding this book better now than I did like when I read it in fucking 2008 or whatever. Like it's one of those things like age and further music kind of shit kind of just helps with. I don't know, man. Like this is not fiction. It's probably just weird to like see me reading this, but I assure you this is definitely a me thing. Sometimes I just fall down these like music rabbit holes. Lately I've been listening to some John Lee Hooker, Skip James, fucking the Illinois blues slaps. My 14-year-old told me the other day that I'm too old to say that something slaps, so of course that means I have to say that everything slaps every day of my life until I fucking die, because I'm never gonna stop saying that. Also, over singing is my passion. Like I love to know like 2 or 3 lines from a song and just absolutely go crazy, just walking in circles in my house singing it. Like what's the Bee Gees song? To Love Somebody. Oh my god, my renditions of that are absolutely horrendous. Like okay, we're moving on from that. All right, sorry. So yeah, that's my only book right now. I've been listening to some fucking classic blues here. So, I mean, if you got any, hey, listen to this person, kind of in that same vein. I mean, I've got fucking a lot of them, but sometimes you just miss shit. YouTube's a large place. And I'm just wandering out there listening to fucking, Okay, anyway, decks. So, what do I have here? 8, 9. All right. So, first one, this is the Witch Sister Tarot. This deck I got, I pre-ordered this and then it like got pushed out and all this shit. I think I told you the story previously. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Just kidding. I love repeating myself. But I have really been enjoying working with this deck. The guidebook is really so wonderful that goes with it. And the card artwork, okay, I will say there's something about the artwork that I actually, all right, Julia Jeffries. Fuck, why can I never remember if it's Jeffrey or like Jeffries plural? But the point is, she had also done the artwork portion of, wow, I'm about to not be able to remember with this either. Tarot of the Hidden Realm. So I've had that book Wow. That deck for a while and loved it. Something I like the more like contrast in these cards, but once again, this is one of those fucking Llewellyn decks that I bitch about the saturation. Like look at this, you know I hate this fucking blue, man. Like that is my one thing that like makes me kind of back up from this deck and not like love it as hard as I could. If that makes any sense. Like what's going on right here with this color? I don't like it. I'm sorry. And I have to mention it every time I see it because I'm fucking annoying. This feels like a good summary deck. I honestly, this is kind of actually an all-around deck. Like, it works well in every season. I mean, if there was one season that it probably doesn't work well, it works its least amount in maybe spring. I mean, but fall, winter, it's just very, like, look at the wintry vibes of this. It's, I don't know, man. This is a deck I'm probably never going to put away. It lives on a shelf above my altar because I reach for it often. It's kind of one of those decks that I wouldn't pull out and do like a big, huge reading, right? I wouldn't pull, 10, 12 cards for something. I mean, I might even hesitate to do like 5 or 6 just because the guidebook really allows me to like kind of go deep into it. And so, yeah, I do a lot better pulling probably 3 at most from this. I feel like it's a big thing just in kind of social media, YouTube kind of spaces to like do these big readings and show those as impressive and things like that. And I feel like I kind of got caught up in that for a while, but like actually I can extract enough information from a card or two that I really just don't need to be slinging 20 cards to figure something out. Like everyone do your own thing, but this card is my fucking stalker and I don't know what he wants. There are just different ways to do things, and sometimes I think it's okay to mention that. It's not a monolith, okay? All right, next, this is a deck that I mentioned in my June Decks and Books video. This is the Wildwood Tarot that is very poorly trimmed by me. I had asked in my last video about getting this book that sort of like supplements this deck. It was like a workbook or something. And some people said one was better than the other. And I saw a couple people said that really you don't need either one of them. So I did hold off on ordering either. There's 2. I thought initially that there was only one, but I guess there's 2 different ones. And I mean, honestly, the guidebook that comes with this deck is pretty in-depth. So I figured, fuck it. I'll just keep working with that. I mean, at some point down the road, I can always, order another deck or, another book if I really feel like, I don't know, I want to dig into this deeper. But, like, really, you can dig pretty deep just with the guidebook. This deck comes out, for the most part, every summer for me. Like, it's just, I don't know. I love both of these cards. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. I don't know why. Also, I'm really into, like, deer guys. Sorry, I guess I could hold it so you can see instead of just being like, all right. I mean, honestly, I don't know why I'm going through this one so much anyway. You guys have probably seen that. All right, what else do we have? Sorry, it's a fucking bag for that. All right, I have, Magic View Oracle. Now, this is a deck that consistently shows up on, like, my favorite mass market decks, my favorite Oracle decks. I don't actually know why I fucking love this deck so much. Something about, like, it's got nature, but, like, the way that it's decaying at the same time as showing these things, it's just so something that I love. And the guidebook's not bad, actually. Like, this deck is by what? Rockpool? Yeah, Rockpool. So it surprised me, honestly. I think I say that every time I pull this out. It surprises me that I am actually so into this, because a lot of times I get Rockpool decks, and I'm just not... I just don't really connect with it very well. Like, I really love these first 2 cards. Stunning. This one, not so much. But, like, it's not so bad. I don't really feel like... Well, maybe there's one card in here I would like to pull out, but... I don't know if I hate it enough. Like, I don't mind pulling cards out of oracles and being like, this one just doesn't have this anymore. You know what I mean? For a tarot deck, I wouldn't want to do that because it's sort of a whole unit. It's, it's just different. So, yeah, I would not pull cards out of a tarot deck, but an oracle deck I would. So yeah, I love like the creepiness of the nature. Like, look at this fucking card. Holy shit, I love this. Some places the card that I hate. I love this. I say I hate it, but like I haven't pulled it, so it can't be that bad. Look at this go. It almost is a little bit fairy tale-esque. Yeah, I believe this deck was actually like pre-existing artwork that was sort of put into these cards and the meanings, but it doesn't have that feeling so much. Sometimes those are awkward to kind of wield in that way. So I don't really like this card, but like it's not bad enough for me to pull out. I love this. It's really dark and kind of hard to see, and the cards are very glossy. All right, damn, did I pull one out? Did I take the card out that I didn't like? There's one, it's like purple puzzle pieces coming off here. Oh, there is purple. I just don't like this. And it doesn't like creep me out or anything like that. It's just, I feel like I see this pretty often in decks and I just never like it. Like it just feels really on the nose or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I've been really feeling this lately. Speaking of music, you know, I've really been on a Hosier kick lately. People like to say, oh, these like Faye jokes and shit. I guess I kind of see where they're coming from, but ultimately I feel like when he first came out with some of his stuff, there was a version of the song It Will Come Back, which people have been going feral over, that he's brought back for his recent tour, but where he was sitting in like his parents' attic, and that's always the vibe that I have gotten from his music. So I don't know why I'm equating that with this. Anyway, that was a whole aside thing. Anyway, well, next up I have, I have the box behind me. It's, fuck, what'd I do with it? Oh, the Sacred Nature Oracle. Now, this is a mass market version of this deck. It was at one point, I believe, on Kickstarter. It was at one point an independent deck. They got picked up by some publishing company that actually I have not heard of. Fuck, I don't know what I did with the box. I thought I left it out behind me. Anyway, these are like sepia photographs and plants, right? So we've got Datura here. We have like a little sort of anatomically correct drawing of it, and then a photo of a person kind of decked out in the plant. We've got Sunflower and Radiance, and the write-ups in the guidebook are surprisingly good too. Like, this is a deck with a lot of cards, a lot of thought and detail put into the guidebook. I do like masculine figures being shown in this way in this deck because I think a lot of times they're left out of things like this, and I think it's nice to see their inclusion in this. So, yeah, this deck, I pull it out every once in a while and then put it back shortly after. But I've actually had this deck out for almost a week now, and I don't really plan on putting it back away. Maybe it was waiting for the summer. So, yeah, I mean, these cards are beautiful. Sitting here flipping through them, it almost they're kind of samey in the way that, well, I mean, I don't know. To me, I love the nuance of, like, this shit, but some people might just be like, these are all the same colors, or fucking, you know, they're not that different or something. I've seen critiques of this deck. And while I, you know, see where they're coming from, I guess I do happen to disagree. I fucking love this deck. I used to say that I didn't like photography decks. I think actually that's not true. They just have to be kind of done in a certain way for me to be into it. I will say this deck is not very much a deck with a sense of humor. Like, it is dead fucking serious. Like, people in this deck are not smiling, and like the guidebook is not smiling. I am not smiling when I'm getting the messages from it. It's not mean, it's just very matter of fact, which I love it for. I really appreciate the fact that it's not that it doesn't necessarily have a personality. All right, I personify my decks, okay? It's not that it doesn't have a personality, but it doesn't have one that gets in the way. Does that make sense? Do you ever feel like there's a deck with a personality that almost intrudes on the reading and like your ability to interpret the cards? I don't know. I don't mean to sound like this has been a wild video of ratings. Okay. Anyway, I love this deck. Honestly, even if I'm not drawing cards from it, wow, I just spit everywhere. Sorry if you saw that. Sometimes I just look at them. Like, I don't know, man. I love this shit. All right, next. Okay, this is a deck that I kind of have a problem with. This is the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. I have complained about this, and I will continue to complain about this one specific thing every single fucking time I drag this deck out. Okay, I don't mind, okay, actually, I think it's kind of a cool idea, that the major arcana have been flipped around. So instead of, like, the first card is the world, and it's sort of like leaving civilization, right? It's almost sort of a descending rather than ascending sort of energy, which is really what I was excited about to begin with. But then it gets confusing because it renamed most of the majors, so you can't really tell so much which ones they are. Like Ancestor, I don't fucking remember what that is. Okay, I like the artwork, lots of greens, lots of nature. You know, it's colorful, but not in a way that I find like overwhelming. I will say this is massive. Okay, I've heard people saying that they thought, yeah, here's the world, that they were going to be coming out with another like version of this deck that was a little bit smaller, and different cardstock or something. This is horrendous cardstock. Like, legitimately, it's horrible. But yeah, this is just the original one. Like, I just don't think that I'm that into it enough, that I needed another copy of it on different cardstock. Now I'll show you this deck, but I also want to find the main thing. Like, this prevents me from picking up this deck when I find it. And you might already know what it is. Come on, bitch, where are you? Like, some of these are so beautiful. Look at this. The Ten of Fire, stunning. Like, honestly, I wish I was okay. This is one of my favorites. Honestly, I wish I was okay pulling cards out of tarot decks because I feel like I would reach for this more often. All right. Love this. I believe this is the Tower. Okay, somewhere in here is the worst card. Oh my god. Okay, maybe I should have found this before the video, but I just figured it would be in here because it's always in my face. I've been thinking about whales a lot lately. Okay. All right. Oh. I'm losing my shit. If it's the top card, I'm gonna fucking... Oh, no. It's this motherfucker. This fucking card ruins this deck for me. This is death. Okay, if you're gonna call your deck Witch's Wisdom, death is part of the wisdom of a witch. Like, I would even argue it's a fucking large ass part of the wisdom of a witch. And the fact that it backed away from that and called it Rebirth, I hate the artwork on this card. I hate the fact that they renamed it Rebirth. Everything about this card, like, turns my stomach. And that's sounds dramatic, but, like, death cards are important to me. Like, do you ever just have cards that you really want to see in a deck and, like, they can kind of make or break a deck for you? Death is one of those cards to me. I want to see the Magician, and the High Priestess is more important to me. I want to see the Moon. I want to see the Sun because usually I hate Sun cards. Like, if it's too bad, I just can't do it. But, man, Death is just one of the top cards that kind of makes or breaks a deck for me. And I guess I didn't realize how important it was to me until I saw this fucking card in this deck. I've literally thought about getting rid of this deck because of it. Like, I don't honestly really know what to do about it. It is so horrible to me. And, like, I'll pull out this deck, but then the whole time I'm thinking, like, does that skew every other card in this deck to, like, weird bullshit? I don't know. Shying away from death is just a thing that I don't have patience for. Especially, like, this deck is by Phyllis Curott. Like, yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. Once again, I think this was in my June video too. The Brady Tarot. Let's at least do this so they're not all in the same order as I may have shown you before. This is an independent deck by Emmy Brady, who is currently in the process of making an Oracle deck that goes with this. Same style and everything. I'm super excited for that. I think I've mentioned before, I'm like in an anti-deck collecting like phase right now. I mean, not that I've ever collected decks, right? I want to use the decks that I have. But lately, man, I've been in such a bad mood with like the consumerist shit and seeing people just being like, oh my god, you should get this deck or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I almost feel embarrassed that I've done like unboxings and things. Like, I'm excited and I want to share it with people who might give a shit, but also at the same time, like, am I encouraging people to buy things that they don't really want or they're not really into? Like, I'm trying to pare down my collection. Oh, look, a fucking death card. A skull, something coming up to eat it, and something even bigger coming up to take a fucking chomp. Thank you. I don't know, man. I've been having a hard time with just... something in me has shifted lately, and I think it's made me actually bitchier than usual. And, like... I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Like, I am not sure. I haven't seen a mass market deck that really felt like it was even worth fucking considering. Since probably what was the first deck that I just showed? Oh, the Witch Sisters Tarot. And I mean that first came out last December. Just everything feels so samey or shallow or it's starseed shit or like I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. So I have my few deck creators that I'm like sniffing up the ass of, waiting for their next deck, but for the most part, I've backed out of a lot of that stuff. There were Kickstarters I felt like I was going to back, like, you know, kind of seeing some of the cards being made and things, and I was like, I just don't know, man. Like, the amount of decks I have is, quite frankly, depressing for some reason to me. Like, what have I done? I don't know. Anyway... One deck that I will be backing when it comes out, or pre-ordering, or purchasing, or however it's going to be coming out, is, no, I don't actually know what it's called, I forgot, but it is an Oracle deck, that kind of, it's in the same style as this, and by the same deck creator, and that's one of the artists and deck creators whose ass I'm sniffing up, because I am waiting for that deck to fucking be out, okay? Alright, I have two more. And one of them here is the Soma Tarot by Nicholas Bruno. Now, this deck, I have complained about this deck before because I didn't like the white borders, but sometimes things just happen in life, and you reach for a deck, and it just starts speaking in a way that it didn't before. And something about the white borders, I appreciate. So, any of my complaints, I would like to take back officially about these white borders. It almost gives it a sense of clarity, while sort of containing like the energy of it or something. I don't know, man. I've been connecting a lot with this deck lately. This is not necessarily a good thing because like the headspace that I'm in when I'm reaching for this deck is not the best, but I'm glad that I have it for that, if that makes any sense. Again, I was saying that I think that I actually don't dislike, like, decks of photography. They just have to be done, like, to a certain, I don't know, skill level or something. Not even skill level. I don't mean to be, like, skill level, but, like, a certain, I don't know, man. There's just some of them that feel right. Does that make any sense? So, yeah, I have... Damn, look at this card. I have been using this deck. I don't know if this deck is a death card, particularly fond of me. Like, something about it feels sort of cold and distant, but maybe that's just how it is. Or maybe it dislikes me and thinks I'm a stupid bitch for the things that I ask it, but, you know. Oh, well. So, yeah. Oh, where the hell did that just go? Oh, the Hermit. Go away, Hermit. So yeah, damn, this is a long video. I've been rambling for a long time about this. Okay, the last deck is the Ritual Tarot by Tierra May. Now, my shit has been renewed. My interest in this deck has been renewed because her Oracle deck called Cave of the Sibyl, I think, is currently up on Kickstarter. Please go back it. If this does not get funded, I will die. Like, figuratively and literally. I require that fucking deck, so you guys guys better go back. It is so dark, so like haunting. It feels like a cave, obviously, because it's the cave of the Sibyl. It's so, I don't know. I understand, because I've seen several people be like, oh, this is just, it's not quite the same vibe as this deck. And I agree with them, but I think I actually love it even more. So I did go ahead and pull this deck out. I love this deck. I had put it away because sometimes this deck for me likes to give large, like big, large scale readings, almost like political climate sort of things, or like world sort of energies, in a way that most decks that I have do not. The Marielle Tarot does this for me, and Margaret Peterson, and then this one. So it's not really the kind of thing you could ask a day-to-day question necessarily. To me, like the way that it's functioning for me personally, right? I mean, maybe you could ask it, fucking, where should I go for lunch? And it will answer that for you. But for me personally, it does not do that. Not that I would ask it. Like, I almost feel like it would be disrespectful if I was like, should I get a coffee on my way to work this morning, or just make it at home? Like, this deck would stab me in the night. Like, but, yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I'm back into this deck, harder even than before, because, yet another deck creator who I am stalking around has a deck on Kickstarter, so, yeah, that's that. So those are my decks, and the one book that I'm working on in July. I thought of grabbing some other, books that, like, I would, in a dream world, like, my fantasy self would be cool enough to read this month, but, like, ultimately, that I know I'm not gonna do it, because I've just been doing other shit, and I know that sounds weird. Like, how can someone just all of a sudden be like, actually, I'm really into this other thing instead? I don't know how to explain it. It's just, that's the way it is, so... Sorry. I mean, I guess I could do, like, what am I listening to lately? But which is also going to be really disappointing to everyone, because, okay, I don't know how to say this without it sounding embarrassing. I will legitimately listen to a song repeatedly for, like, a week, and then move on to another one, and then I'll be like, I just remembered this song, and fucking listen to it again. Like, it's it's a thing, so... Okay, anyway, this is a really long video of just me rambling about, like, I don't even fucking know what. Oh, my husband made this. Is this fucking cute or what? That's fucking adorable. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.